Wait a minute. What kind of image pops into your mind right now when you think of Gandhi? A thin walking stick in his hand, a white dhoti on his body, that famous peaceful look in his eyes. Perhaps that iconic photograph, a frail body, but a giant shadow behind it. The world calls him Mahatma, meaning the great soul. The Nobel Peace Prize Committee nominated him 5 times. Martin Luther King said he was his greatest source of inspiration. Nelson Mandela viewed him as a role model. Even Albert Einstein wrote about him. Generations to come will scarce believe that such a one as this ever in flesh and blood walked upon this earth. But what about you? You're a part of that very generation. The story you've been told since childhood was always the same. The father of peace, the pioneer of non-violence, the voice of the oppressed, and the symbol of human rights. But today, I need to ask you this. What if there is a dark side to the story that you were never told? What if Gandhi was someone who held racist prejudices, whose approach to women was deeply disturbing, who wrote letters to Hitler calling him dear friend, and who told genocide victims to die peacefully? Now pause for a second. Get comfortable, because the minutes ahead will shatter that Gandhi statue in your mind.
Part 2. The Making of a False Saint.
Gandhi is 23 years old and he is going to South Africa. Why? A law firm invited him to join cases in Natal. A young, ambitious and sharp attorney. His goal is to defend the rights of Indians there. In books, this period is described as Gandhi's awakening period, the period where he was subjected to British racism, where he was thrown off a train just because of his skin colour, despite having a first-class ticket, and where he experienced discrimination firsthand. It is said that these experiences transformed him. This part is true, but the untold, censored part is this. Gandhi was only defending the rights of Indians in South Africa. At the same time, he harboured deep hatred and prejudice against the black African population living there. And he wrote this openly. His articles, published in the Indian Opinion newspaper in Johannesburg in 1908, still remain in the archives today. Gandhi strongly objected to Indians being placed in the same prisons as black people. Do you know why? Because he found it unacceptable for the status of Indians to be degraded to the same level as black people. He addressed the black people in South Africa as Kafir. This word was an extremely heavy racist insult used to degrade black people at that time. In her articles in the Indian Opinion newspaper, Gandhi openly argued that Indians were superior to blacks and used extremely derogatory terms such as infidel to describe black African people. Now think again. Martin Luther King looked up to Gandhi as an idol. The core of the non-violent resistance theory relies on this man's ideas. Gandhi inspired the civil rights movement for black people in America, but this inspiring man was once someone who demeaned black people. What are you going to do with this contradiction? I am asking you this because my goal is not to blindly condemn Gandhi. I am asking you because history is never as simple as we are taught.
Part 3. The Brahmacharya Experiments.
Now we are going to an even deeper, darker, and truly disturbing point in the story. Had you ever heard of the Brahmacharya vow Gandhi took in the final period of his life? Brahmacharya means sexual abstinence and celibacy in Hinduism. Gandhi took this vow in 1906 when he was 36 years old. What was his goal? To reach spiritual purity, to completely dedicate himself to his cause, and to liberate himself from bodily desires. This can be respected. There are such strict vows in many religions and philosophies, but Gandhi decided to test this vow in a very strange and creepy way. Towards the late 1940s, when Gandhi was in his late 70s, he began taking young women into his bed to sleep with them, and he called this the Brahmacharya experiments. So who were these women? Some were young female followers living in his ashram. Some were the names closest to him. Worst of all among them was his own grandniece, Manu Gandhi. Gandhi's defence was this: "Is my will truly strong? I need to test this. I must see if I can completely conquer lust." Today, these behaviours are clearly defined as abuse of power and manipulation by many historians, psychologists, and feminist academics. Because there is a massive imbalance of power. On one side, there is Mahatma, worshipped by millions, whose word is considered law. And on the other side, vulnerable young women who obey him and believe in his holiness. But what did Manu Gandhi really feel after these experiences? What did she write in her diary? The answer to this question still holds a major ambiguity and mystery in the dusty shelves of history.
Part 4. The Hitler Letters.
1939. Europe is in flames. Hitler invades Poland, and World War II officially begins. Millions are being systematically exterminated. What is Gandhi doing during this dark hour? He is writing a letter to Adolf Hitler. Not just one, but 2 letters. One in 1939, the other in 1940. These are real documents, sitting right inside the archives. The first letter begins exactly like this. Dear friend. Gandhi addresses Adolf Hitler as Dear Friend. He claims Hitler is the only one who can stop the war. In 1938, Gandhi penned an article regarding the Jews. His advice was chilling. He urged them to commit collective suicide through non-violence. He believed entering the gas chambers voluntarily would wake the world's conscience. Albert Einstein openly opposed Gandhi on this. He stated that non-violence is useless against a systematic killing machine. Jewish philosopher Martin Buber wrote a brutal open letter to Gandhi. You Indians could go home after protesting. We have no home.
Part 5. The Untouchables.
1947. India gains independence. Gandhi is celebrated everywhere as the father of the nation. But in the shadows lies a heavily censored conflict. Have you ever heard of B.R. Ambedkar? He was the chief architect of India's constitution. He was the real voice of the untouchables, the lowest tier of the caste system. Ambedkar made a devastating accusation against Gandhi. Gandhi wanted to maintain the upper caste control over the Hindus. In 1932, Ambedkar demanded separate electorates for the untouchables. He wanted his people to have an independent political voice. Gandhi furiously opposed this and launched a hunger strike. His excuse? This will divide the Hindu society. Ambedkar's counter-argument was sharp. This society has treated us worse than animals for millennia. Tragically, Gandhi's hunger strike forced Ambedkar to back down, because if Gandhi died, radical Hindus would massacre the untouchables. Ambedkar later called this signing the biggest regret of his life. He stated, Gandhi's hunger strike was the worst political blackmail. Eventually, Ambedkar abandoned Hinduism entirely and converted to Buddhism. It was a silent, deep protest against Gandhi's vision of India.
Part 6. Blood and Partition.
Autumn, 1947. India is free, but sliced into 2. India and Pakistan. This triggered one of the bloodiest forced migrations in history. Up to 20 million people were suddenly displaced. Between 200,000 and 2 million people were brutally slaughtered. Neighbours slaughtered neighbours. Villages were burned down. Trains arrived at stations packed entirely with corpses. What did Gandhi do to stop this madness? He went on another hunger strike to quell the violence. It worked in some areas, forcing fanatical groups to drop weapons, but the flip side of the coin reveals a massive political failure. Gandhi vehemently said India will not divide, yet he couldn't prevent it. The entire process spiraled completely out of his control. Historians still argue today. Could this bloodbath have been averted if Gandhi had acted sooner and more strategically? The answer remains buried, But the question is a bleeding wound.
Part 7. The Assassination.
January 30th, 1948. Gandhi is shot 3 times by a far-right Hindu nationalist. His final words are, "Hey Ram." Oh God. The world mourns, and Gandhi instantly transforms into an unassailable legend. And here lies the climax of our story. Once a giant figure dies, they can no longer defend themselves or clarify errors. The living rewrite the memory to suit their own narratives. The massive legend built after his death meticulously erased his dark pages. His racist writings in South Africa were buried deep in the archives. His creepy experiments with young girls were rebranded as spiritual tests. His letters to Hitler were brushed off as naive product of the times. His bitter feud with Ambedkar was downplayed as a minor disagreement. In the end, only the flawless statue remained, the man with the walking stick, the white dhoti, and peaceful eyes. But now you know, he was never as simple or perfect as they taught you. So, what do you feel after learning all of this? Anger, confusion, or a desire to defend him? The truth is, Gandhi altered the course of history. That is a fact, but he was also the source of deeply traumatic pain. That is also a fact. The real question is, why do we demand our icons to be absolute heroes? We love the fairy tale that good people only do good things. But underneath that comfortable veil lie the victims who were crushed. Kasturba, Manu, Ambedkar, and the Jews entering the gas chambers. Look at the Gandhi in your mind before this video, and look at him now. Are they the same person? Both are entirely real. And that is the hardest pill to swallow. If even Gandhi is this complex, what lies beneath the masks of other heroes? Walt Disney? Henry Ford? Or Winston Churchill? Beneath every brilliant statue lies a very different story. And we will continue to uncover those stories. Because the truth, no matter how disturbing, is always better than a lie. See you in the next video.